Kristi, I always love chatting with you. I know your whole backstory that I think is part of the overall story of what you're doing today and has informed a lot of the work that you're doing today. But for the kids in the back, can you just talk a little bit about your professional journey that brought you to this place at Albertsons?
Sure. I like that you put in the boundary of professional journey, so I don't go all the way back to my life in Wayne's World.
So when I was 2.
Exactly. I did that earlier today.
Okay, yeah.
So professional journey.
Yeah.
I have always been in the advertising business. Mm-hmm. I was the media person in many of the great creative agencies that exist out there today.
The one media person?
Pretty much the one. I mean, there are 5 of us.
Yeah.
Because of that background, I really understand where humanity matters, no matter what you're doing.
I love that.
And came up the creative agency side, and then took a job at Media Brands to run Microsoft's the Microsoft account globally.
Okay.
And so that was at that moment where digital really started to take shape, even to the point where Microsoft had 10,000 salespeople all around the world, and each of them had $10,000 to spend on a digital campaign. So I had 10,000 media buys that I was doing for search primarily.
Yeah, totally.
And actually out of that was born Media Brands Trading Desk, which eventually became Cadreon, and I think it's got a different name now.
Yes. No, Matterkind. Know those guys well.
Yes. So have a ton of background in terms of kind of the humanity side of the business and the importance of creativity and human connection, and also the mechanics of digital marketing. So having gone through the pain and the growth of programmatic until it became a well-oiled machine, and then came out of Media Brands and went to Target to run their media practice. I was so I was overseeing media measurement, influencer, social.
You were a marketer.
I was
buy-side marketer.
I've been a buy-side marketer. And in my time at Target, they asked me to take kind of this nascent media business that was growing, born out of shopper marketing, and kind of grabbed that, branded it Roundel, and then brought Roundel to the marketplace.
Right on, and learned a ton.
Yeah. Learned a ton. And then, lo and behold, I did a little hop to Bed Bath & Beyond. Let's all mourn for a moment for the death of a beautiful business.
Yeah.
And followed the chief merchant from Target who had gone there to be CEO. Went there to do brand innovation, and retail media was kind of tucked under there. So I understand the long tail of retail media. And I got a call from Albertsons that they are kind of like, wait a minute, we're like a Fortune 50 company. I think we probably want to in-house this thing called retail media. Yeah. And I'm like, there might be something there. And so hopped over about 2 years ago and have since brought Albertsons Media Collective to the market. We had been outsourcing it to Quotient. And, the company made a significant strategic decision to build this business in-house at Albertsons, and I report directly to the CEO. It's considered one of the growth priorities for the company, and I'm having a blast.
I mean, it's I had the privilege of spending some time with Albertsons CEO. There's very clear commitment from the very top. As Kristi said, this is just an objective bystander who can say that is actually...
And you would say if you didn't believe that.
Oh, I definitely would. You know me well. And I appreciate that so much. And there's a lot of interest in really thinking about how you learn, how you grow, how you innovate. A big part of that, I think, is helping the ecosystem get to a place that is scaled. And so I know something, and part of the reason I had you tell your backstory is that I think you really appreciate the way that marketers think, the way that media people think, media buyers think. Talk a little bit about sort of how you are approaching things like being part of a larger ecosystem, how you think about things like standardization and the need for that.
Yeah. So I'll start with, because of my background on the media buy side, I understand the pain, the challenges, the opportunities, the things that work really well, and the things that we wish as an industry just didn't have to work the way they do.
Yes.
Also known as walled gardens.
Yes, no, for real.
And to arrive at a place where I have management or the ability to access half of the adult U.S. consumer population, to bring it to the market as a media proposition, and to be able to do it with a completely different value system.
Yeah.
So more in transparency,
Yep.
more in the spirit of partnership, right? Because I can't demand anything. And when you consider the importance of the merchant's relationship
Yes.
with many of these advertisers too,
Yes.
it's a really big relationship. And listening to some of the other speakers today, the importance of understanding how all of these things drive businesses. So shelf placement
essentially
and
in
media.
context,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The larger context.
Yep,
Yeah.
the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
So, I've just really come to appreciate the fact that we need alternatives in the marketplace, and I don't know where else there is an alternative that could go at some of the places that dominate the marketplace right now, other than retail media.
That was like a very nice way of saying what I know you're saying, which is it shouldn't all be funneled into the walled gardens. But why is it? Because they have a lot of data, which retailers have. They also make it very easy.
They do.
So let's talk about how do we get to a place where retail media is more seamlessly accessible, measurable, and so on and so forth, so that it
All
is
of
really,
that.
truly
All of that.
competitive.
Yeah. And, we joke about this. Retail media is at the place that programmatic was in 1990.
Oh,
Exactly. Right?
come on, that's rough.
And so we need to clean that up.
Yeah.
The challenges, take one CPG, the challenge for a CPG to try to figure out how to normalize all of us so that we can be compared to each other, they're hiring headcount
Yeah.
to try to spend the time
Right.
to figure out how to make our ROAS comparable. It's like, the
like,
lesson,
"This
I
seems
don't want to
wrong."
talk about ROAS.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get to the other stuff. But we're we're burning all of our calories on talking about the fundamentals and how our ROAS is different from somebody else's ROAS.
Right.
How do we count our audiences?
Right.
What's cash, what's credit, what's loyalty program, and all of those things just create enormous complexity for clients. And Vivek was at CES with us, and it was just client after client after client expressing that frustration and the fact that they can't continue to do it.
I mean, it's incredibly onerous and it's expensive and time
It is at a time when marketing.
That's right.
Salaries or payroll is under pressure, and marketing budgets are under pressure.
Yeah, the call for efficiency. So how do you be more effective, right? Rather than continue to hire a bunch of people, which hurts efficiency and it probably hurts effectiveness because you're dealing with this challenge of sort of being like, there's an apple over here and a banana over here. I don't even know what good is supposed to mean anymore. How do you bring other retailers along for the ride, right? Because it doesn't only work if Albertsons doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of really great individual efforts underway.
Yeah.
IAB is leaning in, ANA is leaning in, and CASA, you heard from Megan in terms of what OMG is doing. We're really leaning in to try to bring all of that together because there is a ton of great intention, and we actually think that if we can join together these conversations, then we can actually make some quick progress on starting to identify where we should be standardizing, and then where do we get to then go and innovate.
That feels right. And you have folks like Zach at PepsiCo, you have earlier today folks like Aaron Sobel at Unilever that are, I think, quite passionate about
trying to
make
We've come
this,
across both of them in our journey.
I'm
yes.
sure you have, and just trying to make this better. So, I mean, ultimately, it feels like it needs to come from those guys clearly have to be at the table. But who gets to decide what the things are that you standardize on? Seriously.
Yeah, I think it's got to be an industry debate.
Yeah, okay.
Because no one can decide.
Okay, and we're going to do that.
Right.
I think on Thursday.
Yes, indeed. We are going to do that.
There's so much more to talk about on this one. Okay, so that's interesting. So let's pretend.
But if there is a group that comes together, it's got to represent all sides of it.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the challenge, I think, sometimes within
Right.
the industry bodies.
It totally is. And then you need to agree on where can we standardize, where
Yes.
can we be the same,
Yes.
and where do we just be transparent.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, and then by the way, on top of that, what are the things where it is appropriate for secret sauce to remain secret sauce, right? I think that's part of the challenge right now, probably for retailers, and you can tell me I'm wrong, but I think there's maybe a worry, like how do I be more transparent and participate in the ecosystem without feeling like I'm giving everything away.
Yeah.
I think you would say you can
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially if you leave all that white space for innovation. So here's my belief on this. If we don't do the standardization piece, if we don't normalize where we should be normalized, we
Yeah.
will never see the potential
That's right.
that is sitting right in front of us.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're just at that moment
Yeah.
where we've got to align around it, and then let's all go grow together.
That's right. And then the moonshot conversations start to become real. Yes. Speaking of, what are some things that you're excited, like what are some possibilities that you look at in the retail media opportunity for Albertsons?
Well, one thing I've always longed for is for retail media data to be applied to linear TV. It's just wide open for a whole different way of measuring outcomes. And so I think that's super exciting. That's close in. I think longer term, what we're going to be working on is how do we take the most valuable assets of retail media, which is our audiences and our measurement, and bring them to the market in different ways so that they don't always have to be bundled with the media buy.
Okay, so it does not have to be isolated within the Albertsons ecosystem. It can sort of live beyond. Oh man, that's so interesting. Because again, like I think that's been a challenge for publishers in the past because the data, frankly, was taken. Publishers got raped and pillaged, let's be totally honest. Their data was, and so to do that in a way that feels safe for Albertsons.
Enter the clean room.
Enter the clean room. Yeah. Mic drop.
Right. We've just gone full circle.
We sure have. I think we have to stop. But this is a conversation I'm very excited has been happening all day, and I know will continue happening all week here again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me,
Thank you, my
Joanna.
friend.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.